you have the feeling, yes, you right now, that the person opposite you wasn't really honest with you. There's something where you think, something's not right. There was something, or he said something, or something happened where maybe he hid something from you or wasn't completely honest with you. And that's what we're going to look into now. We're going to get to the bottom of this matter now. Now, let's see what your counterpart, your beloved, your desired partner might not have told you. So let's take a look now. Dear ones, a very warm and loving hello to all of you. Feel warmly and tightly hugged by me. You are such wonderful, heartfelt souls. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your lovely comments, for your warmth, your kindness, your compassion for everything, including for others in the community. And we are one big family here, and I am so grateful for each and every one of you who is part of this big family. And you know, dear ones, we are here as a collective. Collective readings may not apply to everyone. The person cards are gender neutral. They represent your counterpart, whether male or female. And to everyone who is new here, a warm welcome, and to everyone else. Thank you so much for your loyalty and your support here on my channel, and thank you for being here. So, and of course, I hope and wish for both myself and for all of you that you continue to feel comfortable here. I will always do my best and always remain authentic. Anyone who has had a personal reading with me knows that I am truly always authentic there as well, just as I am here in the videos, including my slip-ups, yes. Or this emotional side. So there really is no difference. And that's always very, very important to me. I couldn't do it any other way. So, all right, let's get started now, right? Okay. So, and I hope I can send and share lots and lots of positive vibes with you here. And no matter how a reading turns out, please, please always take from it what resonates with you or nothing at all, but always only what feels right for you. And maybe there's a puzzle piece or two in there for you, right? But please always focus on yourself and stay true to who you are. Listen to your intuition. So let's take a look. First, at what exactly the topic is, specifically in relation to your counterpart, and what it might involve. And then we'll see what kind of general tendency or pattern there is for how things might continue in the future. Slide. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. Let's also take a look at the bottom of the deck. Something is slowly being rebuilt with your counterpart. So here's the issue. Your counterpart has a problem, some kind of topic. It's definitely there, and they're currently working on solving it step by step. So every single segment, let's say, is being looked at here, and quite thoroughly. So he's rubbing away at various things that he may have always kept hidden, issues, situations, his own personal matters. And right now he's kind of scraping that off a bit and polishing up this layer or this darkness that he didn't want to see. It's being rubbed off a little, polished up a bit. And so, as I said, step by step. And in any case, the topic of relationships is an issue that he's currently dealing with, this superficiality, right? So somehow your counterpart might be acting a bit superficially or has been superficial, but you can already see, even if just a little, that your counterpart is starting to feel the ambition to, as I said, clean things up a bit, to tidy up, to clear things out. As I said, the problem, step by step, right? That he wants to resolve it that way. So something is slowly building up here, maybe leading to some self-reflection. Let's take a closer look. Okay, the coins again, Five of Pentacles. Yes, your counterpart there's a sense of insecurity there. His issue, what he might also, since we're on the topic, what he's hiding from you or hasn't been honest with you about. That's a topic, fear of loss. Here we have fear of loss and also this issue that's troubling him internally. may be feeling unloved and or excluded. And that's his issue, this fear of rejection as well. And that's a major issue. So it really seems to be a big issue for your counterpart, this feeling of being excluded, but he doesn't seem to show it. So we already have this secret here, which we're now revealing, right? So insecurity. Insecurity is a major issue for your counterpart. A 9 of Wands, yes. Okay. 9 of Wands, that's now closed off. Closed off, it fits here, uncertainty, being closed, unapproachable, right? So defensive posture, right? And in this defensive posture, I'd say your counterpart has endurance, you know? There's this very cautious attitude, very cautious in this defensive stance. Unapproachable, closed off. I see this defensive posture in your counterpart. And this, don't come too close to me, okay? Up to this point here, because for your counterpart, the issue is always trust. This uncertainty, this fear of loss, feeling excluded and always being on alert or in this state of alertness. And the fear of loss, so this fear of losing someone, it's very strong. And feeling like one's life is unfulfilled. So that really seems to be a bigger issue for the other person. So let's see what else we get here so we can go into more detail. What are the issues? What is your counterpart hiding? Yes, here. It's already quite clearly that he is closed off and hasn't fully opened up to you about what his wishes really are. Love desires his own wishes. In order to deepen the love, there is this uncertainty, and that's the issue, this fear of loss, allowing more love. Yes, the affection, the feelings, this depth, this intimacy as well. And also this closed off nature, maybe also this hesitancy that keeps coming up, even when it comes to sexuality. This could also be an issue here. Yes, and basically your counterpart already feels somewhat smaller compared to you. There is this fickleness. I see that very strongly in what is being shown here, this fickleness and you. So this, again and again, this closed off attitude, this fear of loss. You have a very strong sense of insecurity there. Yes, and then we also have a bit of a runner, which is also being shown. And what he also to some extent makes an issue, something he keeps trying to drag out. Yes, or always this, that he has dragged out. Maybe it's really about honestly expressing his feelings to you. That's an issue. He has fear of loss, fear of actually losing you. And yes, I also see a separation between you two being shown. So it's also clear here, if you have already been in a relationship, if you have been together, the separation is there. And actually, neither of you want that. He didn't want this separation. And let's keep looking. What he might also not be fully telling you, this hiding things. So I always want to add, especially in a collective reading, whenever I think of it, it's important that you don't take the collective reading as the whole picture and say it all has to be exactly like this. It can just be a part of it. Not everything I say here. I always tell you everything, even in personal readings, whatever the cards show. Here, it could also be, or the topic could be, where your counterpart might not be completely honest with you, where you feel like something isn't right, like he's hiding something from you. Yes, that could be contact he has or had with another person, meaning someone of the same gender as you. And there's always this restlessness, this uncertainty, this nervousness that your counterpart has because there's nothing there. There's no love. So it seems to be a pretty strong energy or a currently present energy, because we've had this topic come up a few times now. It's quite logical, at least logical to me, yes, based on what I see. It seems there has been contact, or maybe your counterpart is still currently in contact. That's something he might not really be telling you. There's nothing to be seen here, yes. But now here, again, this ending, that there was contact, but it's ended again, one just can't cope with the whole situation. So in this reading, I also don't see any emotionality where I would say, okay, here it's all complete. Love is in the air or something like that. No. But just like, okay, maybe this person latched onto your counterpart and was kind of in flirt mode. He thinks to himself, hey, cool. My ego is getting a bit flattered and stroked right now. Great, awesome, what a story. Your counterpart is sometimes a bit of a pullback artist who actually more or less has the connection with you absolutely on his mind, and is also doubting whether it was even the right decision to end the relationship with you. And then we have another topic, your counterpart, as I said, or another issue with your counterpart is something he is hiding from you, or something he has hidden. Maybe he hasn't been completely honest with you. That there is a person in his circle, could be family, who has always spoken against you, and that there were really serious arguments about it. And that he didn't tell you about it because he stood by you, but in the end, he couldn't withstand it anymore. That pressure, because I put immense pressure on your counterpart. The whole situation. And right now, he's really in this mode of running away, pushing things aside, withdrawing because he's completely full of doubt. He is doubting this withdrawal. If he withdrew from you, if he separated from you, your counterpart knows it was absolutely shit, because you are completely in his heart. And also the fact that he didn't open up to you completely. I see this closed off attitude very strongly. That's it, the feelings. There is more than you actually think. You think, well, maybe there isn't really anything more. I mean, in the end, you feel it. You feel that there is so much more. But despite all that, your counterpart is always this closed off, this insecure, this restless person. And that is now also reflected in the cards from the tarot. Your counterpart hasn't told you the whole truth or been completely open with you about how deeply he actually loved you and still loves you. That's that. Makes him so restless, totally crazy, totally nervous. This restlessness that at night he always has this feeling, even though he always said, okay, now super easy, great, done for the day, right? Now, I'm going to enjoy the evening, watch something on TV, and just really chill out, you know? But on the other hand, I don't really see him in that chill mode. Even if when you're still in contact, he tells you that. Yeah, and now, oh no, I'm fine, great, fantastic. No, that's definitely not the case. Because actually he's not doing so well. Because he's very restless, very nervous, and over again, because you keep popping up in his thoughts nonstop. You're there, you come into his thoughts. For example, that's also the case when he's watching some movie like that. And then he's watching something, maybe picking out a movie right now, and thinks to himself, oh, which one would she have liked to see? She would have said, oh, no, I wouldn't have liked that. This is how you keep coming back, like that. And then really that peace, that end of the day relaxation is already over, because then he gets up again, becomes restless, and starts pacing around and says, man, what a mess. What am I supposed to do now? Because those feelings keep coming back. They catch up with him over and over again. I'm not saying that this goes on all night or that it happens every single day, but that's the kind of energy I have here. So that kind of, yeah, scenes like that just keep popping up here because you really are on his mind. So I'm not saying he thinks about you nonstop all day, but you keep coming up again and again in different situations. So then he distracts himself again, then he goes and does something else because he's the type who pushes things away. Push her away. And as I said, everything he's scraping off now, or rather there, everything he's covered up. And now he's really on this path toward a new beginning because he can't run away anymore. But he still hides his feelings for you. He didn't tell you that there was a really hearty harvest here. So a real confrontation in communication, that someone from the outside got completely involved and he wanted to protect you here. So he made it clear, no, here she or he will not be attacked. So even from the outside, even if some lady now wanted something from him and would speak against you, he would completely step in between as well. No, he wouldn't let that happen. He tells you, but not everything. That's it. And that's also what you feel. That this reservedness, that's because he's really in conflict with himself. How can he get all of this here sorted out, resolved? Because his heart, his feelings for you, they're only getting stronger. Maybe you two don't have any contact at all, but he can't push these feelings away anymore. And I would say the biggest, longest phase is over, where he was able to push it away, where he managed to cope with it, where there were great distractions, going out here and doing this and that and the other. But now nothing works anymore. So not even a bag of chips, beer, and a movie, something like that. Great distraction. All right, I can switch off. No, now even that is starting to come back up again. Or going out with a buddy. Or, I don't know, just driving around somewhere or doing something. The distraction worked for a while, but now the point has come then where it doesn't work anymore. He tells you, but not really. If you ask him, or if you were to ask, do you still love me? Or did you ever love me? No. It's over. That's what you feel when he tells you that maybe the love was never that strong, and that's why the breakup happened. Then I tell you, something wasn't right here. That's the point where he withdrew. And where he could really kick himself now, because what he did back then was absolutely rubbish. And he knows that now. He definitely wasn't honest with you then. You are much deeper in his heart, in his thoughts, in his memories, which he keeps reliving. And as I said, there are some issues on your counterpart's side, but well, I would say it's not something where I would say, okay, personally, I don't really see a problem here because you can talk about anything. Well, that's my opinion. You can talk about anything. But your counterpart is a bit insecure when it comes to communication. That's what it is. A bit of communication issues, some difficulties, a bit of conflict in communication. You might notice that with your counterpart now and think somehow they're a bit different. But, oh my power, there it goes again. Man, please start up for me. That would be so nice. I tried before, but it's still holding on. We'll manage. I got a really nice get email about the power, reminding me to plug in the power for the computer. So now we're ready. But take a look at how things continue here. Your counterpart is starting to wake up. They're really present here. As we've seen, things are really moving forward here bit by bit. Step by step, it's definitely progressing. So it still requires a bit of patience, but it always depends on you. Do you want this? Can you be patient? Do you have the patience? Is it really worth it? Where you say, no, I know he's the one. But always make sure to look at yourself to say, okay, you're living your life now, you're following your own path, but even so, you can't let another man or woman get close to you because your counterpart is still too deeply in your heart. Then that's perfectly fine. Okay. But I can already see your counterpart here, and it shows that there is a good development taking place. He wants to let everything grow again and is also embracing change here. Because for him, love for you is blossoming more and more. It keeps growing and growing, and it keeps developing more and more. So it's like this abundance that fills every cell of his body, that this love actually, well, I know it sounds very romantic, right? But even if I'm exaggerating a bit here, there's just more and more love coming in. It's like he can't take it anymore, and there's really no way for him to distract himself from it either. I see growth here. Yes, patience, of course. I see slow movements here. I don't see much speed, because even his impulsive actions, the distractions, maybe even a knee-jerk reaction, I do see that here as well. That's in the past, right? Now it's more like this, He's polishing things up here right now, as I said, and he's smoothing everything out, this layer that he never wanted to see. And now he's looking at everything step by step and is really embracing change here. Change. So, and then the circle between you two will be complete, because here for your counterpart, it's about openness. He shows you openness as well. And he also wants to approach you openly and honestly, because he knows that with you, the closeness, he needs your closeness. He feels your closeness. He longs for your closeness. And he also wants to give you the security that he perhaps hasn't really given you, because he also knows that you give him security. And that's why there really is a reason to celebrate this union that is being formed between the two of you. And this coming together is being shown. So a committed relationship, finding the sense of home, and currently this unhappy phase, well, there's really nothing left of that anymore. He's thinking a lot, as I said, and he definitely doesn't feel comfortable, even if he might show otherwise on the outside. That's definitely not the case. And your counterpart will also approach you again here. So this coming towards you. So this connection between you will happen again, because a relationship is indicated fact. And again, this will start with activities together, shared experiences. So this, you do your thing, I do mine, which you might have had in the past, that could be right. But even if you did things together before, it's shown here that these shared activities will become even more intense, even stronger. So it's not about being chained together, no, right? Rather, it's about living with joy, doing things together, these shared experiences, because he tells himself that you belong to him, and you tell yourself that he belongs to you, and the circle closes between you. Wow, this is a very warm reading as well. I mean, well, okay, right? But I have to say, in this reading, there's nothing tragic that he's hiding from you or where he hasn't been honest with you. Because as I said, I only see contact here. Contact, but no foundation of trust has been established. No, right? And I also see the trouble here, disagreements, uncertainties. So the foundation just wasn't right at all. And as I said, the argument, the trouble here, that he defended you but didn't tell you about it. And above all, the decisive thing is his love for you, that it's deeper than he has told you or admitted to you. Dear ones, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching and wish you a wonderfully beautiful rest of your day. Feel warmly and tightly hugged. Goodbye.